up, guys? It's your boy Yaron, and you're listening or watching to the Yaron Show, The Game Changer. So, today I'm going to be talking, or not talking about, but today especially is cerebral palsy month, which is in March. So, for those of you who do have cerebral palsy, I want to wish you a happy cerebral palsy month, whatever it's called. Um, I didn't know it was a thing until now. So, I have it myself. And for those of you who also have cerebral palsy, um, happy cerebral palsy month. And be grateful that you are born with a disability. So, you know, um, yeah, I mean, this is what I'm going to be talking about and also other things. But I just want to start off by talking about this in particular and why you should embrace this month and to be thankful and to be happy that you were born with cerebral palsy. One of the reasons why we should be thankful that we are born like this, and for those who have it, is because you take a lot from what you're dealing with, which is physical therapy, occupational therapy, um, speech. If you have speech therapy, and you take a lot of that, you take a lot of it from that, and you learn. Um, I learned from a very easy, hard way. I've been doing occupational and physical therapy for a very long time on my left side. So, you know, um, for those of you who do not have um, cerebral palsy, it's not only, hemiparesis like myself, but it is other things where the main factor of cerebral palsy is when your brain doesn't have when your brain doesn't have enough oxygen, and the brain has a hard time getting it, and it needs to, it's going through a lot of things. I'm not so sure what kind of things, but it's going through a lot. I'll probably explain it in some other video, or if you're listening, um, podcast. So in the next episode, I'll explain it to you guys. Um, but I think it's very important that, you know, when you know about this, and even if you don't know about this, it's quite interesting. So your brain it doesn't get enough oxygen, and it I don't know what it does, but it probably takes away the the whole, you know, um, effect in your body. And it kind of sounds weird because it depends of what body you're going through. Maybe it's your legs, your arms. Um, I don't know. But it's really interesting. And if you don't have a disability and you um, want to know what it is, that's what it is. I'll probably put a link down below and give you a little bit of more information, but it's really interesting, and I think it's very important for those who do have cerebral palsy to kind of be very thankful, to have it. Like myself, I've been having it for years, ever since I was a kid. I was born with hemiparesis, and it's been hard, but luckily my family, they've got my back, you know. Um, my friends, they've always, you know, some of, like, also my friends, they've always had interest in knowing what it is, and, how I was born, and, um, raised with hemiparesis. Some of them, they even didn't know until today. So, I think it's quite interesting. And also to see this perspective of what you learn from it and how you could embrace it. Um, it's very like today it's very common to talk about it, but if you're talking about back then, it's very, you know, like no one would probably know. And also today, you know what? If you talk about having cerebral palsy and like the types of, you know, um, types of what part of it you have, some people are not gonna know. But you do have to be thankful. So be thankful for your family, your friends, your family, friends, um, no matter where they are, whether they live far or they live close. Be thankful for them as much as I'm thankful for them. All of these years, my family, friends, um, my friends in general, um, they're always there, no matter what you are going through, whether it's, a lot of things and you have a lot of things on your plate and you're doing a lot of things, or if it's just, going to work, coming back, doing physical therapy, occupational, and speech, wherever. If it's just that, be thankful for it, you know? Um, Listen, my parents didn't even know until I told my mom a couple of days ago, or I think it was yesterday, that it's cerebral palsy month. And for me, I was kind of like, I never knew this was a thing, where people who had cerebral palsy who had there was a month for it, because I only heard, some months like autism month and all that stuff. So but I never knew that there came a month for people with cerebral palsy. And listen, I think a lot of these, months that do have, different types of disabilities, I think they do matter. And when you have months like that, it's like, wow, people really do care about us, even if they don't know what you have or what's wrong with you. And I'm talking about the perspective of disabilities. If they don't know what's going on with you and they ask what happened to you, you know, um, it depends on what you want to respond to, like what you want to tell them. You know, I remember times where I was in high school where I couldn't say, like I couldn't share with my other, you know, friends who were in the hallways, like what what happened and all that. But I would always tell them I was born like this. I don't know what happened, but I was born like this. And a lot of the times they would be like, "Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that." And they like, a funny thing is that um I I think I said this probably in the first in, I probably said this in the introduction. But when I wrote my book, and it's called Not Too Easy but Not Too Hard, there's this one chapter that I wrote about, and it's called My Strengths. And in that, there is a quote that literally says, and then hold on, but it literally says, um, this is what it literally says, and I wrote the quote down because I got really inspired by it. And this is from R.J. Millett from Breaking Bad. He says this, and I quote: "When you have a disability, people think you are weak. They think they can prey on you." Like, holy shit. I mean, this is quite a quote. Um, and the reason why I kind of like to cherish this quote is because a lot of the times, um, people tend to prey on you when you have a disability. And there comes a time where you're like, I don't give a shit. I was born with it. You want to prey on me? Prey on me. I don't give a fuck. You know? Like, excuse my language, but it's like, you don't need to prey on me. I was born with a disability, so what? You want to pray? Pray. But it's not going to change who I am. I'm like you at the end of the day. That's what I wrote down, for those of you who are watching, this is what I wrote down. It was a very inspiring quote by RJ, and I wrote it down in my book because it was a really inspiring quote. And for each chapter that I wrote down, there's a different quote. So I'm probably also going to put that in the link down below at some point when I publish my website, my personal website, which is Yaron H. I'll put it in the link down below right after I'm finishing up what the website is going to look like. So be sure to check that out. But yeah, if anyone tells you, oh, I'm so sorry, it's basically the same thing as what RJ said, They're basically trying to prey on you. Like, they want to pray, oh, that's right, I feel so sorry. Don't be sorry, this is who I am, And listen, RJ mentioned a lot of things, and he didn't even mention about this quote over and over again, but he mentioned of how you have to embrace of how you have a disability and how you have to overcome having it. Some people who do have disabilities, they get bullied on and all that stuff. For me it was reversed because I was kind of like, the badass and all that stuff. But that's a different subject. I wasn't really a bully myself, but I was trying to be someone who I wasn't, and it was quite interesting. So yeah, but listen, that was me in high school years ago. Now I think we should fast forward and listen. I think all of RJ's videos, what he tends to explain is something powerful that you can't find in someone else, because whenever someone else who doesn't have a disability, they don't know how to explain it. They don't know how to word it out. I think the reasoning of why we are, I don't want to say not having our voice, but taking the initiative to speak up is because some of us are very shy and all that stuff, which is totally fine. I was just like that in high school. I didn't know how to explain what went wrong with me. I didn't even know what cerebral palsy was at one point in my life until a couple of years ago when my aunt told me, "You have cerebral palsy," and she stood in front of me as I'm in the pool. Like, it's a summer day. It's me and my aunt. We're having a nice conversation, and I'm talking about RJ. And next thing you know, she's like, "He has cerebral palsy, just like you." And I'm like, "Wait, RJ, who played Walter White Jr., has cerebral palsy?" And like at the time, I was like, "What is that?" And she's like, "It's what you have. You have hemiparesis." And so I look it up at night, and I'm like, cerebral palsy, hemiparesis, and I search it up on Google. You could see the whole entire first page of how it says cerebral palsy, hemiparesis, cerebral palsy, hemiplegia, cerebral palsy, and it goes on and on and on. The next page, on and on and on. And I'm like telling myself, how come all of these years no one ever told me about this? No one, not even my parents, not even my teachers, not even no one. my brothers. Um, and listen, I mean, okay, brothers or sisters, they're not afraid to tell you. They'll tell you anyways. My brothers, they could tell me in an instant, But when it came to my parents, it was kind of like they didn't really feel as comfortable, and, they were really, they weren't really, they didn't really like to talk about it as much, and they didn't even know what the word meant. They didn't even know what cerebral palsy meant until I told them. Like, they probably knew, but they probably didn't like to. They probably didn't want to tell me what I had. All of these years, I tried to understand what I had, what was wrong with me, and why am I like this? Like, who am I? Who is the real Yaron? Why was I sent to a special needs program in school? Why was I, so special? And why was in all of these programs in school? And, why like, just why in general was I treated different since I had a disability? I had a learning disability and all that stuff. And so years later, after I was done with my program in school, by the age of 20, because I didn't even go to college, that is also a different program. But by the time that I was finishing my program in high school, which was, it goes until 21, but luckily I had the balls to actually say I wanted to graduate early, and you know what, it actually worked. But I had to have the patience. I didn't want to go straight up to one of my teachers and be like, I want to graduate next year. You know, like, I said that, but listen, you can't be so confident. And that's what I did. I just graduated early, and the year that I graduated, which was 2017, that's what happened. I took the initiative, and next thing you know, from there, I found out the truth. Every single truth that I had, the times that I had, the times that I spoke with my aunt, the times that I hung out with my brother and my younger brother, and all those things, it was amazing. It was amazing to actually see who I was and what I bring to the table. Because at the end of the day, I just want to learn about myself. I don't want to be that type of person where I'm afraid of my own shadow and I'm like, oh, no, I wasn't born like that. I don't have this. I don't have that. You're not going to get anywhere. I mean, you are. But listen, even if you don't want to know about yourself and you're like, no, I wasn't, sometimes the truth will hurt. And if you're like me and you're like, you know what, I'm proud of it, I give you a round of applause. Of course, I'm not going to clap, but I'll applaud for you. I mean, some people, they're afraid and they don't know how to handle the truth, which I highly respect. It's like the spectrum of autism, where you can't tell a person you have autism or you're autistic. You know, it's just genuinely not nice. I see it as not insulting, but it's kind of like a way of saying, this is how you were born, deal with it. It's just, you can't say that. But if you tell a person you were born differently like me, that is kind of an equal way, so they know, and they perceive it as, you know what, I'm not alone. I'm like your own. I'm like my friend. I'm like my other friend. Because you're not alone. I'm the same thing as what you have. Which, if you're watching this or if you're listening to this, you were born with cerebral palsy. You were born with, and if you were born with this, if you're not born with this, don't be aware. But if you want to, listen to it. If you were born with special needs, you were born with special needs. If you were born with learning disabilities, you were born in learning disabilities. Take it live it, and love it. That's it. Take it, leave it, and love it. That is my 3 phrases. I'll tell you why you should embrace those 3 words. The first one is take it. And I'm going to finish in a little bit because I don't want to end up rambling this whole entire podcast. I want to finish up soon. The reason why I'm saying take it, and I'm going to go each by word, why you should take it. Because here's the thing. If you're born with this particular thing, whether it's cerebral palsy, whether it's a disability, learning disability, anything, whether you're autistic or autism, like whether you have autism or autistic, I don't know which one to rephrase it as, but whether you have that, you have to take it and leave it. Whether you want to leave it or just embrace it, you have to leave and live your life. That's what I'm trying to say, even though I don't know why I said leave it, but just leave that, either leave the topic and just put it aside and say, you know what, I don't want to think about what I was born with, so take it, leave it to the side, and love it. Love who you are, because at the end of the day, you're going to love yourself. Always love yourself first. Learn about yourself first. Don't try to fantasize and tell yourself, I'm going to be the next new Michael Jordan. I'm going to be the next new, Michael Phelps. I'm going to be the next new Gary V. You're not. You're you. Love yourself. I remember even my favorite show, Parks and Rec, there was the best quote that you could ever say to yourself, and it's called treat yourself. If you are born with any one of these things that I mentioned over and over and over again, treat yourself. Take it, leave it, and love it. That's what I'm doing. Listen, I'm not leaving the part where I am having cerebral palsy, but I am living my life. And I'm putting it aside, a little bit. I'm embracing the fact that I do have a disability and the fact that it is Cerebral Palsy Month. So I'm embracing the fact that, I'm telling myself, wow, I was born with cerebral palsy, hemiparesis. That, I'm being genuinely honest. And I know for others it's hard. It's like they can't, digest the truth. They can't exhale. They can't inhale that truth. Highly understand that. And if you listen to this, believe me, I am applauding you for listening to this whole entire episode, even though you probably did not know what you have or something like that. And I know I tend to repeat myself over and over again, but it's the honest truth. And I finish this episode by saying, have an awesome March, because this is the month that you should embrace what you have, whether you have cerebral palsy or anything, if you have a friend that has cerebral palsy, just like be proud that you have a friend that has a cerebral palsy, even if you don't have a disability or a learning disability. If you have a learning disability, just be proud of it. Yes, you know what? It's not going to be Learning Disability Month, but just embrace it. Embrace it, live it, love it. That's all I gotta say. I said it before. Treat yourself. Take it, leave it, love it. That's it. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Kept it a little bit simple. It was really hard for me to kind of make this episode because I didn't know what to talk about over the last couple of days. I did a lot of takes over the last couple of days, and luckily when I checked on Instagram, because I'm following someone, I'll mention her name down below. She mentioned that today was cerebral palsy month, and I really, really am thankful for all my friends and family members and my family as well, family, friends, everyone. Um, it you really, really helped me over the years of doing the Yaron show, or not even the show itself, but you really helped me of who I became, and you know, um, yeah, even all of my teachers at school, and even not at school, but places like the JCC and all of these different places. I mean, I'm really, really thankful, really, really thankful. All of these different programs that I go to, um, from 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 the JCC to Friendship Circle, you know, wherever you live at, and you kind of join some of these similar programs, you know, be thankful, because I'm thankful for for these people who help me along the way, and I really do appreciate it, especially with my services and everything that's going on. I'm just thankful. OTPT speech. I tell it to myself every day. Um, I was lost at one point in my life, and next thing you know, I built myself, and I understood who I am and what I'm capable of doing, because once I found the answers, I knew that I knew that someone would tell me up there and also down here that there's an answer that you will find across the paths of saying, you know what, this is who I am, live it, love it, and embrace it. I could say this over and over again, but I don't want to edit it. I'm being honest. I'm being honest because by the time that I edit this video, it's going to take me years. Or not years, but it's going to take me until 5 o'clock. So, yeah. But, you know, yeah. I am thank you. If you're listening to this, thank you all for listening. Um, Make sure to, if you're watching, make sure to subscribe, comment, share it. Share it with your mom, your dad, your cat, your dog, your uncle, um, your grandma, even if they're Knicks fans. So share it with your uncle who's a diehard Knicks fan from 1970 to 1973. Your sister, your brother, and all those things. So if they're Knicks fans and they want to check out the Knicks take, they could check that out. I'll make some Knicks take videos at some point. I think I'm just, in between of what I should talk about, and I think this is really, really important, since the Knicks are doing really, really somewhat terrible, but yeah. So I just want to talk about this. Not instead, but until we kind of get back and grooving. So, but yeah, make sure to share it. And then also, if you're listening, make sure to check me out on Spotify. And if you don't have Spotify, check me out on Spreaker. I'll put that in the link down below, hopefully. And yeah, and if I don't, check out the video, and it will be all in the link down below. And yeah, also check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter is a new one, and both of my websites, which is the Yaron Show, and my personal one, which is Yaron H. I'll put that in the link down below, and yeah, I'll let you guys go and enjoy your day, whether you're listening in the morning, afternoon, night, whether you are studying, not studying, maybe you're driving in your car, or I don't know, whether you're in bed and you're already asleep, bored of listening to me. But yeah, I mean, if you're doing something and I don't know when in the day, I hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast, and I hope you enjoyed watching it if you're watching it. And yeah. Anyways, guys, peace.
What we do here is go
What's
back,
up, guys? It's
back,
your boy
back,
Yaron.
back.
I hope you enjoyed the show. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And also, make sure to check out some of my other videos. Anyways, guys, peace.